And welcome back to Washington Commanders Insider. Today, we're going to be talking about the keys for the Washington Commanders' upcoming game versus the Chicago Bears. But first, we're going to start off with the biggest topic around the Washington Commanders, and that is if Jaden Daniels is going to be able to play it. So we got a very good update coming out from Jaden Daniels. In fact, it looks like that he went out and practiced today, and he actually went pretty hard out there. It's Dan Quinn saying that he really pushed it today. We'll let our eyes decide how he responds over the next 48 hours. That'll guide us, and we'll make the best decision for him and the team. And so, Dan Quinn has said this pretty much since the injury that they are going to do what is best for the Washington Commanders, and then also, too, for Jaden Daniels. They want to make sure that, it's not just throwing him out there to a game and he's not ready to go. This is more of a long-term plan in keeping Jaden Daniels healthy. And it looks like that, Jaden Daniels is really trying to push to get out there for this game, which is going to be out there at home for the Washington Commanders. Looks like it got flexed to 4:25 p.m. And so he's definitely got some time to get there. And so I think what's most encouraging is that he's actually pushing. So, pushing to get out there and really kind of simulate maybe the things that he's going to face in a game, that's a great sign. And I love what Jaden Daniels had to say about it too as well. He said, look, it's not my decision. I'm definitely feeling better, but I've still got some time, and he's got to obviously hit some more marks before they're going to give him the okay. And so, maybe he looks good in the walkthrough on Saturday if they're going to do that. And then also, too, they're probably looking to see, is there any kind of soreness or any kind of setback from him pushing today? Because he hasn't really done a whole bunch really throughout the week. And so, it's going to be a quick ramp up to get him ready for Sunday. But I think that either way, even if Jaden Daniels is not there, I think the Washington Commanders definitely have a good chance to win this football game. But this is some good news knowing that Jaden Daniels is trying to push to get out there. And so now as we shift focus, we're going to start to look really at the keys for the upcoming game. And so, that leaves us with Marcus Mariota, and he probably more than likely is going to be the starter if Jaden Daniels cannot go. And I don't think that the Washington Commanders are going to lose a lot if they happen to have to go with Mariota. In fact, I think that, he's mobile as well. Like, I don't think that you have to go ahead and adjust the playbook necessarily. I think that he can still go out there and execute those design runs. And also, too, as well, Mariota can absolutely make the throws out there, too, because I think a lot of people forget that he had a tremendous rookie season with the Tennessee Titans, and he really did some good things there. Okay. And so he can still be a very serviceable backup out there. And I think that, you got a chance to see it last week against the Carolina Panthers. And I think this is a chance really to see that he's still got, and I think he does. And so, that leads me to some keys to the game here. And I think that, starting with Mariota, you do not go ahead and you don't adjust the playbook. You continue to run the football. So that means that you do the design quarterback runs. You do continue to hand the ball off to Brian Robinson Jr., Austin Eckler, Jeremy McNichols. Like, you want to continue to do those things. You don't want to change up what you've been doing, what's been the identity for the Washington Commanders just because Jaden Daniels is not there. So I think that is key number one. I think key number two for the Washington Commanders now is, we just have got to make sure that we keep the Chicago Bears one-dimensional, because as I look at the Chicago Bears, the one thing that they have really struggled to do is run the football. I think that when you look at the statistics as far as them running the football, DeAndre Swift comes in with 91 carries for 325 yards. Now, on the flip side of this, Jaden Daniels himself has 66 carries for 372, and Brian Robinson Jr. 85 carries for 396. Okay. And so, as good as the Chicago Bears offense has been, the one thing that they have not been able to really do, and they've kind of found it the last couple of weeks, is run the football. And so I think that if you can make the Chicago Bears one-dimensional, then you're going to put some pressure on Caleb Williams. And I know that Caleb Williams has really got it going over the last couple weeks. He's at a 65.3 completion rate, which is pretty good. And he's starting to really start to get it down the field to his receivers and things like that at a higher rate. And so I think that when you make it one dimensional there, I think that you start to get this offense back in where they were in like week 1 and 2, where it becomes a bit tougher now for him to go ahead and get into those tight windows and things like that, because the coverage is sitting there now that they've taken back or taken your running game away, and they've made that team one dimensional. And so, we saw that with the Carolina Panthers last week for the Washington Commanders. They did an excellent job in taking away the running game for the Carolina Panthers. And granted, the Carolina Panthers are not very good at anything. And so they took away that. And then also, too, we were able to generate turnovers. And so you've got to make sure that if you cause the Chicago Bears to go one-dimensional, I think that that's where Caleb Williams starts to kind of force the ball. And then that's where you can maybe get him into maybe some mistakes and throwing some interceptions, a lot like what happened to him against the Houston Texans in that game. I think that they made him one-dimensional. They made him make some tough throws. They were able to pick him off and get him into those tough situations. So that's key number 2, I think, for the Washington Commanders. All right. And key number 3 for the Washington Commanders is they're just going to make sure that they have to be patient, because this defense for the Chicago Bears is a top 20 defense. It is only allowing 16 points a game. And also, too, they are in the top as far as red zone scores and everything else. Like, this team is very good defensively, and they have one of the better corners in the game out there. And so that's going to be tough for Terry McLaurin. And so now, regardless if it's Jaden Daniels or if it is Marcus Mariota, either one of those quarterbacks, you need not to force it into coverage. Don't do that. Take what you can get. And that means that Zach Ertz, Austin Eckler, Noah Brown, like, those players might be huge. They might actually be a lot bigger than Terry McLaurin right down the field, because now you might have to go ahead and eat up the clock. It might make you do that. But the one thing that the Washington Commanders have done in eating up the clock is they've made teams pay by scoring points. And so if you do that, it is a plus here, because if you have to go to longer drives, now that keeps Caleb Williams on the sideline, right? And you're continuing to score points, and it's going to make them play catch up. And so if you're taking away the run game, you're making them one-dimensional, and they're having to play catch up. That is going to play in the hands of the Washington Commanders. That's exactly what they did last week against the Carolina Panthers. Remember, I said that they are a team that absolutely abandons the run once it's not there. And I think that that's why you see the turnovers for the Commanders in the secondary here. So can they do that against the Chicago Bears? Hopefully so. Those are the 3 initial keys for the Commanders coming out on top of this one. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into the numbers on tomorrow's show. So let me know in the comments what you're thinking about this recent injury update for Jaden Daniels. And do you think the Washington Commanders will have a chance against the Chicago Bears? Many people have the Chicago Bears as favorites. Very interesting. So anyway, this is Rico. This is Washington Commanders Insider, and I'll see you on the next show. All right, go Commanders. Peace.